All right, let's talk about something wild. What if the answer to a totally broken educational system wasn't some huge government plan, but a tiny beauty school in Kentucky? Seriously. Today, we're jumping into this incredible case study that might just show us the future of job training, all by looking at one school that's just doing everything differently.
And it really all starts with this one big question, right? Is beauty school a dream, or is it actually a debt trap? I mean, for thousands of people, it's this amazing path to a creative career they love, but for way too many, that dream just smacks right into a wall of debt. Okay, so before we get to the cool part, the solution, we've got to wrap our heads around the problem. It's this weird paradox. You've got this promise of a great career, but it's often built on this super shaky, super expensive foundation.
First up, let's just talk numbers. The price tag. The average graduate from a cosmetology program walks out the door with about $10,000 in student loans. Just think about that. You're trying to start your career, get your life going, and you're already 10 grand in the hole.
In this is where the math starts to get really scary. After you take on that $10,000 debt, the average grad is only making about $16,600 a year. I mean, come on, the numbers just don't add up.
And look at this chart. It just lays it all out, plain as day. The crazy thing is, a cosmetology grad, on average, makes almost $9,000 less than someone with just a high school diploma. So let me get this straight. You pay all this money, you go into debt, only to end up worse off financially? Yeah, the system feels fundamentally broken.
Okay, so in the middle of this completely messed up system, the research paper we're digging into today points to this unlikely hero, a small school in Kentucky called the Louisville Beauty Academy. And they are just rewriting all the rules. Let's get into how they're doing it. So their whole philosophy, their secret sauce, comes down to this one really powerful, kind of weird idea: overcompliance. Now, what does that mean? Well, instead of just doing the bare minimum to meet legal standards, the least they can get away with, they intentionally go way beyond them. It's not about dodging fines, it's all about building trust from the ground up.
So what does this overcompliance thing actually look like in the real world? Well, first off, they teach the state laws every single week, so students know their rights and responsibilities inside and out, right from day one. Then they publish all of their own rules online for anyone to see. Total transparency. They also keep these crazy detailed digital records on more than 10 different systems. It creates this undeniable paper trail for everything. And finally, get this, their own internal rules are often even stricter than what the state requires.
But being super compliant is only half of it. The other huge piece of their model is this deep commitment to what the research calls humanization. And really, that's just a fancy way of saying they put their students' well-being first, period, over everything else.
And this isn't just some feel-good idea. It's actually backed up by solid evidence. The source material points out that when you do vocational training the right way, it's not just about skills. It can deliver not only economic benefits, but also improve self-esteem, social connectedness, and hope. I mean, it becomes this powerful tool that doesn't just build a career, but can actually help rebuild a person's confidence and give them real hope for the future.
And you can see this human-first design in really practical ways. For one, they tackle that debt problem head-on with low tuition and interest-free payment plans. Huge. They also offer multilingual support for immigrant students, making sure language is never a barrier. And maybe most important of all, they treat every single student with dignity, like the emerging professionals they are, not just a number on a spreadsheet.
And this whole human-centered thing even carries over to how they use technology. At a time when everyone's kind of freaked out about AI taking over jobs, this school is flipping the script and using it as a shield to actually protect its students.
Yeah, this slide just nails the difference, doesn't it? The big fear out there is that AI is going to replace people, create all this bias, and destroy our privacy. But at LBA, their framework is completely different. AI is a tool that supports their overcompliance model. Like, it might automatically flag if an instructor-to-student ratio is wrong, but a human always makes the final decision. It's about ensuring fairness without getting rid of human judgment.
Okay, so here's the really cool part. A model that's built on this kind of radical transparency doesn't just help the students in the building. It actually sends these ripples out across the entire industry.
For the students themselves, the benefits are just life-changing.
They're taking on way less financial risk. They graduate knowing their legal rights as a professional. They've got this incredible digital record of everything they've learned, and they got to learn it all in a place that's genuinely supportive and safe.
But it's not just the students. Think about everyone else involved. If you're a state inspector, this school's insane level of digital records makes your job so much easier and more verifiable. If you're a salon owner looking to hire someone, their graduates come with this super clear signal of quality. It just completely changes the game when it comes to trust and information for everybody.
So naturally, all of this leads us to the big, looming question at the end of the research. Is this place just a one-off? A fluke? A beautiful experiment that can't be repeated? Or could this actually be the blueprint for the future?
So yeah, can every school just do this? Well, the research basically says that while it's theoretically possible, the tech exists, the ideas are out there, pulling it off in the real world is incredibly hard. And why is it so hard? Because it all comes down to one massive trade-off. To run a school this way, you have to choose to prioritize long-term, verifiable trust over short-term revenue. You have to decide that building that trust is more important than packing in students and charging high tuition. And that's a huge shift that goes against the entire business model for a lot of for-profit colleges.
And so that leaves us with this final thought, this one last big question to chew on. What if trust was the most valuable asset in education? What if we started measuring our schools not just by how much money they make, but by how transparent and trustworthy they are? The story of this one little beauty school in Kentucky suggests that maybe the most important lesson isn't something you learn in a class. It's something you prove through integrity. And that's a powerful idea that could change, well, everything.